Scene A.
Y'all look good.
Next question. No comment.
You was recording all that?
I've definitely felt like a change in like how I see God, and like especially being in theology classes and things like that, like learning about the different ways that people like perceive religion and perceive God has helped me to figure out what God is for me personally. So,
but just throughout our years here, we've been exposed to so many different ways to think about faith, not just the traditional going to mass and reading a book.
The community surrounded during those mass days, like everyone coming together and being in one space, and I feel like you can feel the faith of the Brotherhood, faith of St. Ed's within that.
Mr. Williams, there's this one, the sculpture, the flyer and the catcher in his room, and that's something that I've always kind of liked, and that image sums up that perfectly. If you try too hard to be caught in the acrobatic nature of life and what's going on, it's really not going to work out, but you just have to trust in divine providence and know that everything's going to be okay.
Because without faith, I probably wouldn't have been at this school for long. And just thinking things were getting better and knowing that God is on my side at all times, and just knowing that without him, I won't be here.
Understanding that faith is a journey for everybody in a different way, and that people come from all different religious backgrounds, family backgrounds, and things like that. And that like faith doesn't have to be like this like structured, you're told to do it this way. It really like changed how I live out my faith daily as well, like being open to perspectives, and like faith has become more of a way I've lived, and rather than like something you study in a religion class.
There's just like one quote that I have highlighted on my desk, and the origin of it is unknown, but it's like the cost of excellence is discipline, but then the cost of mediocrity is disappointment.
I would say like I've really grown as a person, persevering through adversity, improving my work ethic, and kind of keeping myself accountable.
St. Ed's pushed me for excellence because, like, people probably just look at St. Ed's, oh yeah, it's a high school, but I feel like it's more of a lifestyle. Like, I love this place.
They've put a lot of knowledge into our heads in 4 years, but they've also taught us how to think critically, which I think is a much more important skill.
There are lots of people who are passionate about what they do, and in class and extracurriculars, that passion kind of comes together, and you're just driven on more and more by what everyone else around you is doing.
So when I think of excellence, I think of teamwork and working hard and being on the state championship football team. We worked as a team, won 15-1. After last year, we didn't have a great, junior campaign, but we came back with some excellence.
More so, it's not even just about wearing the ring and saying we won a championship, but more so just having that such a big moment in my life and then sharing with my brothers. I think that's going to last me forever.
For me personally, the hockey team, 2 years in a row coming together to make it down to Columbus. We didn't get the result we wanted, but it took a lot of teamwork, and it was a great moment of excellence for the boys.
Excellence isn't a moment. Excellence is everything leading up to the moment.
Coach Augie always had me lifting, being in the weight room, always getting better. At home, my dad always had me getting better, lifting as usual, just being busy in general, my sports, wrestling, football, and just inspired other kids and gave them strength.
St. Ed says they've driven me to just be better in really every aspect of my life.
Would you consider any of your teachers here your friends after spending 4 years here?
I mean, of course. I've encountered so many amazing people throughout the school community.
here at Ed's, it doesn't matter if you're white, black, if you come from a rich family or you come from a family who doesn't make that much, if you play every single sport or if you don't play a single sport at all,
it means that no matter who you are, I have your back and you have my back.
I'd say we're like family. I know that's very cliche to say, but like, I don't know. I know I know all of my classmates, I know them very well, and I feel like there isn't any divide between students, even among classes as well.
Coming in as a freshman and kind of not knowing as many people, to fast forward 4 years to my senior year, I mean, I've made relationships that are gonna last for a lifetime.
As a rule, humans need each other. I mean, we're all built.
Saying that for the people that I've met.
I would see servant leadership impacting the future just by just people getting other people involved. Really, I mean, we show a lot of brotherhood around here. So just really just getting everybody involved around here, just getting them out of their comfort zones and everything like that, and just making sure that everybody is more inclusive and everything like that.
I think that the theology classes have kind of shed light on the need for service and how good the service we do here is.
So I'd say the Holy Cross principles really frame what you learn in class, frame what you learn in your extracurriculars, and it makes it so that your learning is not just for the sake of knowledge, but it's also for the sake of making a difference in the world around you.
I think Ed does an amazing job as cultivating servant leadership in individuals and providing opportunities and pathways for anyone to foster that leadership in them if they want it.
You come in, you're a freshman, and you're kind of like, I gotta go serve, this is terrible. But as you get into the groove and the grind and St. Ed's kind of develops onto you, you kind of get the reality, you want to serve.
Service isn't really just about kind of serving everyone around you and improving everyone else's lives. It's also about improving yourself, and service can really kind of shape you into a much better person, and it's definitely a two-way street where in service you're given the opportunity to help others, and you're also given the opportunity to improve yourself.
I don't think this is the first time I haven't fallen asleep in a class this year. This is the only class.
Yeah. That's an achievement, especially as a senior.
Seriously, I was proud of myself. I'm like, dang, is it me or is it the class? And I'm like, that's probably the class.
The teacher that would be most likely to get onto American Ninja Warrior. I don't know. I feel like I would want to see, I would personally want to see Mr. Urban. I think he could do pretty well.
So you're in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Pick a teacher and a weapon that you have to survive with.
Oh, I'm 100% going with my boy Mr. Rents, a katana, because I feel like that would be pretty cool.
Zombie apocalypse, give me Coach Pappas.
Another great one is seeing Mr. Cavally chug a thing of ragu. I don't know how he could do that. The consistency to chug that thing is insane. You know?
What teacher or student do you think would have the best chance to wrestle a bear?
You know, I'm gonna go with the safe answer here. I think it'd be Wyatt. Wyatt is a wrestler, but he's also small, so he would be real quick. He'd get around those bears. Tree Dog would simply just destroy those bears.
Do you have a most embarrassing story here?
They're all embarrassing. I mean,
well, yeah.
This interview was very, hi Miss Mona. Hi everybody, hi Mom, hi Gio, hopefully your shirt's on. Hi everybody, happy graduation, we did it, we did it, yeah, we did it, we did it, we did it, yeah, we did it, and we going to college, yeah, to college, hopefully we go to college, yeah, to college, finna have fun at college, yeah, at college, what rhymes with college? Knowledge, hey, ooh. All right. Shout out to my peoples in the film department, they the boys,
Good evening. Welcome. It's so wonderful to have you all here as we celebrate the class of 2022 on this academic awards night. And it's great that we can be back to a full crowd And I think tonight is going to be a wonderful celebration. I thought it was very fitting to have the video end with a segment on joy. Though Jerry, I know nobody can see Jerry. Jerry had his hands in his face the entire time that song was going. But I think the thing that I most appreciate about this class is it is a class that always leads with joy. And you guys have been so fun. And even today, as Ray Sean Manning was literally dumping a garbage can full of water on my head in the clothes that I'm wearing right now, which have finally dried out. I thought, man, we are really going to miss these guys because they bring so much joy every day to St. Ed's. And so before we do anything tonight, this night was made possible by a lot of people. No more important, though, than the parents and the families that are in here. And so I want you guys to give your parents a round of applause. So I know that this celebration is about you, but your parents have sat now through at least 12 of these, and that's a lot of hours listening to people's names being read. So they're very deserving of the recognition and have raised really wonderful young men. So thank you very much. So we're excited to get started. As we get started, I'm going to invite Mr. Owen Williams up to the podium so he can give the invocation to begin the evening. Owen.
Let's pray. Loving, tender, merciful God, you who love us without measure and without regret, you who just can't take your eyes off us, you who are too busy loving us to ever even be disappointed in us. Help us to imitate you in this world, to be compassionate and loving and kind. Bless this celebration, these students, this family gathered together to surround them with love and support. We gather in deep thanksgiving for the St. Edward community, and especially for the inspiring witness of the class of 2022. We stand in awe-filled gratitude for their academic accomplishments, for their co-curricular successes, but most significantly for their commitment to the Holy Cross mission of St. Edward High School, to love tenderly, and in doing so, to bring the hope of the resurrection to everyone, especially to the marginalized and readily despised in our world. Accompany these graduating seniors as they leave this place and enter into the rest of their lives. Help them and all of us to remember that St. Edward High School is not just the place they've come to quote our good friend, FGB, it's always been the place they go from. Give them the strength, courage, hope, and love to go from this place, to widen the circle of tenderness so that nobody is outside of it, to love without counting the cost, to have the competence to see and the courage to act. Help them to know that they always have a home here, especially when they need a place to renew their hearts and refresh their spirits. Come, Holy Spirit, come quickly. Amen. And I now invite Mr. Matt Sipnowski, Mr. Matt Wallenhorst, Mrs. Joanne Thompson, and the Gray family to the podium for our next segment.
The Father Peyton CSC Catholic Identity Award is given to a senior who has gone above and beyond during their entire 4 years to help our school grow in our Catholic identity and values, especially connected to prayer. Father Patrick Peyton was a Holy Cross priest who championed the importance of praying together in community, particularly in families. He was a tireless supporter of praying the rosary, especially families praying together. The recipient of the Father Peyton Catholic Identity Award goes to Adam Mocho. The Jeff Morton College Counseling Book Award is presented to a senior who is intellectually curious, positive and affirming, one who exemplifies the 4 pillars of Holy Cross formation throughout the college search, application, and discernment process. The recipient of the Jeff Morton College Counseling Award is Hayden Mueller. The James J. Nieberding Award is presented to a student who has shown commitment to the study of American government and has demonstrated civic responsibility. James J. Nieberding was the History Department chair for more than 35 years and founder of the St. Edward Council on World Affairs. He believed that each of us can make a difference in the world and taught his students to give back to the community in any way they could. This award honors his legacy and continuing service to the St. Edward community. The recipient of the James Nieberding Award is Ian Fairfield. The Brother William Kleinenberg CSC Senior English Award is presented to a senior for academic excellence in English. Brother William Kleinenberg was a member of the faculty at St. Edward early in the school's history. As chairman of the English department, he helped establish the tone of academic rigor that characterizes the English department to this day. This award is dedicated to his memory. The recipient of the Brother William Kleinenberg Award is Frank Warren. Tonight we're joined by Mrs. Joanne Thompson, and the William Thompson Senior Mathematics Award is presented to a senior who has demonstrated a particular excellence in mathematical achievement and displayed clear thinking, a logical approach to problem solving, and self-discipline. This award is given in memory of Mr. William Thompson, a beloved mathematics teacher who died tragically on January 24th, 1984. The recipient of the William Thompson Senior Mathematics Award is John Thompson.
I'm honored to announce our next award, which is named for my dad, Mr. Jim Wallenhorst. We lost him a little over 2 years ago now, but he dedicated most of his career to St. Ed's and really living out the Holy Cross charisms in his career and really in his life. And he instilled on that in generations of students that green and gold spirit. The highest grade you could achieve in my dad's world history class was not an A+, it was an H. It stood for humdinger. It was worth no extra points, but it was simply just an acknowledgement that it was some of the best work that he had ever seen. I'm pleased to give this award to Thomas Hoffman for being a humdinger. Thank you.
The Brother David Martin CSC Robotics Award is presented to a member of the robotics team who demonstrated strong leadership, outstanding generosity, and innovative solutions inside and outside of the robotics lab. This award is given in honor of Brother Dave Martin, CSC, who taught multiple math and science courses over his 20-plus year tenure and helped found the robotics team in 2001. The student receiving the award represents the selfless and tireless dedication to St. Edward High School that Brother Dave exemplified. The recipient of the Brother Dave Martin Robotics Award is Jacob Smith. I would now like to welcome to the stage Mr. Patrick Gray, who will be speaking on behalf of the Gray family and awarding the Bryson Gray Memorial Scholarship.
Good evening. My name is Patrick Gray. My brother Bryson Gray was a student at Ed's. Standing here among his classmates tonight is my honor. The Bryson Gray Memorial Foundation was created to honor Bryson, to continue research on the neurological effects of COVID, mental health awareness, and suicide prevention. If you knew my brother, you knew you had a friend for life. It is the mantra of the foundation, "You've got a friend in me." Bryson loved his friends, and he loved the St. Edward community. Tonight, we are happy to award scholarships to members of his graduating class. We'd like to thank all the students who submitted essays. It was a difficult decision for the committee to make, as they were all amazing essays that touched our hearts and were very personal to us. With that being said, on behalf of the Bryson Gray Memorial Foundation, it is my honor to present scholarships to Evan Bennett and Owen Mulgrew.
I would now like to welcome to the stage representatives from the U.S. Naval Academy and the U.S. Air Force Academy, who will be introducing Danny Enovich, please come as well, students, Chad Schaffner, and Will Grislack, who will be attending the U.S. Naval Academy and the U.S. Air Force Academy next year.
Good evening. I am Dr. Kabarli, and I am the Blue and Gold Officer for St. Edward High School. It is my distinct pleasure to have the opportunity today to recognize the significant honor Chad Schaffner and Danny Enovich has earned by receiving an appointment to the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. This year, Chad and Danny were two of about 16,000 students from throughout the nation who applied for one of approximately 1,200 seats for the Naval Academy class of 2026. The admissions process is unique and requires each student to apply for and receive a nomination, most commonly from their congressman or senator, complete a thorough medical exam, and successfully pass a physical fitness evaluation, in addition to the usual submission of transcripts, recommendations, and essays. Screening is thorough, with a focus on well-rounded individuals who have demonstrated leadership potential and a willingness to accept responsibility, as well as outstanding academic credentials. An appointment to the U.S. Naval Academy is equivalent to a full four-year scholarship, including all tuition, room and board, medical and dental benefits, and a monthly midshipman stipend. After completing the four-year curriculum at the Naval Academy, students receive a Bachelor of Science degree in one of 25 majors and earn a commission as an officer in the U.S. Navy or Marine Corps. St. Edward High School should be very proud of Chan and Danny's achievements, and on behalf of the Superintendent of the U.S. Naval Academy, it is my pleasure to present the Certificate of Appointments to the Naval Academy class of 2026. Go Navy!
Hey, Will, can you come up here? Good evening. I'm Roger Balzer. I am the parent of U.S. Naval Academy graduate. I am a real helicopter pilot. Parent. My daughter's a helicopter pilot. and my son is at the United States Air Force Academy. It's my distinct pleasure to have the opportunity to recognize the significant honor Will Grizzlack has earned by receiving an appointment to the United States Air Force Preparatory School in Colorado Springs, Colorado. This appointment is the equivalent to a full scholarship, as Doug said, including all tuition, room and board, medical and dental benefits, monthly cadet stipend, imagine getting paid to go to school. It's valued at more than $425,000. Mission process that Will endured was just like the young men at the Naval Academy. Got a nomination from his congressman and his senator, and did a complete thorough medical exam, passed the physical fitness, in addition to the submission of transcripts, recommendations, and essays. Screening was thorough, focused on well-rounded individuals who demonstrated leadership potential and a willingness to accept responsibility that I'm sure he learned much of that here at St. Edward High School, as well as outstanding academic credentials. The United States Air Force Academy accepts only the best of the best. So you can see how truly outstanding this young man standing next to me is. The Academy's mission is to educate, train, and inspire men and women to become officers of character, motivated to lead the United States Air Force and Space Force in service to our great nation. To develop these leaders, cadets take part in a wide variety of programs, including flying aircraft, free-falling, parachuting, competitive athletics, military training, and foreign exchange programs around the world. To develop these leaders, cadets take part in a wide variety of programs, including, I just mentioned that. Same time, he'll attend classes ranging from aeronautical and electrical engineering to history and political science. At the end of his time in Colorado Springs, he'll have earned a Bachelor of Science in his choice of 31 different majors and will be commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force or Space Force. For Will, the end of school is only the beginning. He will take the skills and knowledge he developed at the Air Force Academy and will serve in one of 38 Air Force officer career fields for the next 5 years. While he continues to develop leadership and professional expertise, graduates of the Air Force Academy have gone on to be Rhodes Scholars, titans of industries, politicians, generals, heroes, and astronauts. I can't wait to see what great things Will achieve and will accomplish in the future. St. Edward High School should be very proud of Will's achievements. So without much further ado, on behalf of the President of the United States, I hereby present an appointment to Mr. William Grizzlack to the United States Air Force Academy Preparatory School. Congratulations. Go Air Force, beat them all. Congratulations. I love that. You got it, my friend. Congrats.
One of St. Ed's longest and really most celebrated traditions is the awarding annually of the Man of the Year Award. The Man of the Year is nominated by classmates. So the senior class nominated 5 students for the Man of the Year and then voted on by faculty and staff. And one of the great parts of the annual awards assembly is the introduction of our Man of the Year candidates. So I'll read from the program. Since 1956, St. Edward High School has singled out one outstanding student from each graduating class and has presented him with the St. Edward High School Man of the Year Award, the highest honor the school can bestow on a student. The Man of the Year Award recognizes an extraordinary young man who has demonstrated dedication to improving himself and the community, whether it be in the classroom, on a service project, or on the field of play. The Man of the Year Award candidate has consistently displayed the positive, caring attitude of a well-rounded Christian young man who has the competence to see and the courage to act in today's world. Tonight, we will be introducing 5 candidates: Ian Fairfield, Adam Mocho, Matthew Molnar, Jeremiah Ratcliffe, and Tori Williams-Ruffin. So to present our first Man of the Year candidate, I'm going to welcome Owen Williams back to the stage, as well as the Fairfield family. who, if you would please come up to be recognized.
Ian Patrick Fairfield, son of St. Edward alumnus Brad and St. Edward Social Studies Department Chair Suzanne, proud younger brother to St. Edward alumnus Connor, future Ohio State Buckeye, ice cream scooper at Mitchell's Avon, scholar, athlete, servant leader, loyal friend to many present here and elsewhere, and most importantly, beloved child of God. Ian has been a gift to this St. Edward community. He is an Edsman, a hope bringer of the highest caliber. Ian's St. Edward story begins many years ago while the Fairfield family was living in Erie, Pennsylvania. A proud St. Edward alum, Ian's father, Brad, talked constantly about his Eagle High experience and beamed with pride as his sons grew to know and love St. Ed's. Brad recalls an especially moving moment when head basketball coach Eric Flannery and the Eagle Hoopers were traveling to Erie for a game, and the whole team came to the Fairfield home for dinner. The team signed 2 basketballs for Connor and for Ian, and from there they became Eagles for life. A few years later, the Fairfield family was here on campus for the opening of the Lowe Institute for Innovation. After the ceremony, legendary history teacher, Mr. Jim Wallenhorst, embraced Brad, recognizing him as one of his former students and class council members, and led the family on the tour of campus, and Ian and Connor in both of his hands. Suzanne and Brad point to Mr. Wallenhorst's connection to their family as instrumental in their return to St. Ed's. Following in the footsteps of his father, brother, and his mother, Ian worried how he would fit into the St. Ed's dynamic in the family. But in the words of his brother Connor, as we all see here today, Ian has created and cemented his own St. Edward legacy that will last for years to come. Ian is a man of grit, earnestness, and determination. Ian does everything 100%, so much so that his family nickname for a time was Ever Ready Bunny. Once you flip the switch, Ian is fired up and ready to go. In the words of English Department Chair Andy Allen, what has struck me most about Ian this year is his great enthusiasm. It seems that he approaches everything he does with gusto. From intense workouts in the backyard with his brother during the COVID shutdown, to competitions at Learwood Field with the Avon Lake boys, to constant late nights and early mornings, Ian views life as an amazing gift and wants to help others along the way. Close friend and classmate Garrett Rotz writes, Ian is a competitor. Almost every CYO basketball game, he would be on the floor diving for a ball, yelling at a ref, getting a technical, or standing up for a teammate. From day one, Ian made it clear that he didn't come to St. Edward to simply go through the 8-3 motions. He came to seize every opportunity, every day, every moment. He came to make his St. Edward life extraordinary. Close friend and classmate Kai Yursich writes, Ian is someone that pushes me every day with my academics and being a better man. He is one of the most passionate people when it comes to my academics, my relationships, and everything I do. I have been friends with him for 7 years, and he has been one of the most loyal friends. He is always there when you need something, and he supports his brothers every chance he gets. Ian's contributions to an already deep Fairfield family legacy at St. Edward have been many. His impact on the students, faculty, and staff is strong and clear. In the words of English and Theory of Knowledge teacher Garrett McPartland, there is a gravity to Ian. He is a genuine, humble, flexible leader. And from theology teacher Matt Rentz, Ian eagerly lives out the qualities of an Edsman on a daily basis in and out of school. He seeks the spiritual, academic, and athletic growth not only of himself, but of his fellow Edsmen in a very real and genuine way. Simply by being his determined self, Ian has built up the body of Christ here at St. Edward in many ways. Ian is a servant leader. He realizes and fully lives out Father Greg Boyle's calling to go to the margins so that the margins might be erased, to widen the circle of tenderness so that nobody is outside of it, to build up the kingdom of God here on earth such that God might recognize it. Service is not simply serving the other, but being one in solidarity with the other. Ian models this kind of kinship and tenderness in all that he does. With Jesus as his model, Ian loves others as they are. He has this unique, beautiful ability to see into the hearts of those around him. Close friend, teammate, and classmate Jeremiah Ratcliffe writes, Ian is a caring and helpful man throughout it all. Even if it means making a hard decision to ensure that others are doing well, Ian is able to do it time after time. That is what makes him a special man. Ian is what the St. Edward Brotherhood is all about. Love, empathy, and genuine concern for the other are essential to Ian's existence. Since his freshman year, I've seen this love in action in more ways than I can count. On Kairos, as he accompanied his brothers as they encountered God, on the football field, and the rugby pitch, and the CYO basketball court, as he gave everything he had for the good of the team, on student council as he inspires his classmates to fully enter into their St. Edward experience, in the classroom as he brings it, such that teachers often speak so highly of him and what he contributes to their classes each day, or at lunch in Mrs. Fairfield's room, as he laughs and breaks bread with his St. Edward brothers. Ian brings his unique brand of hype and intensity to everything that he does. Ian is a disciple of Jesus, a man of deep relationship with God. As Jesuit priest and theologian Karl Rahner writes, the Christian of the future will be a mystic or not at all. Ian's faith is one of action and contemplation. It is not showy or preachy, but rooted in action and deep encounter with the living God. Ian's spirituality has developed immensely throughout his 4 years at St. Edward, but has always been there. Ian takes literally the Christian call to make a difference, to bring the hope of the resurrection to all, especially the marginalized and the easily despised, to have the courage to act. As an 8th grader, for example, after the death by suicide of one of his close friends, Ian spearheaded a suicide prevention walk for the community. He models the kind of accompaniment and empathy that Jesus calls each of us to in the Gospels. He inspires me to enter more fully into my own faith. This faith, this love and action, is something that Ian's parents are proud to see their 2 sons share together. As Ian wrote in his spiritual autobiography for my world religions class, each one of us has an undeniable ability to create light and goodness in the world. Ian certainly brings that light and goodness each day. Ian's entire being is rooted in relationships. He is a strong defender of those he loves. Math Department Chair Dan Corcoran writes, Ian's charisma and welcoming attitude made it easy to approach and get to know him. Ian embodies all pillars of an Edsman, but strongly models the pillar of relationships. Whether it has been making Get the Edge campers feel welcome in the community, leading discussions in the classroom, or something as simple as waiting for a friend to come out of a college meeting to see how it went, Ian's call to build every relationship he makes has been amazing to watch over his 4 years at St. Ed's. Ian is especially close with his older brother Connor. In the words of Ian and Connor's mom, their relationship over time has morphed into something so special. They have a confidant, a constant source of love and support in one another. These two have been through a lot together and inspire me in my own relationships with my brothers. Ian demonstrates his commitment to relationships in many ways. He documents significant moments with those he loves through photography. In fact, his grandmother's will names Ian as the caretaker of the family photo albums. Ian loves life and shares in these sacred, perhaps even Eucharistic moments with those he loves. One cannot speak of Ian without mentioning his immense love for sports. Ian's brother Connor writes, although I'm so proud of what he has done thus far in life, I am even more excited to see what he's going to accomplish in the coming future as well. I cannot wait for him to come to Ohio State next year, as we will get to have a couple more years of memories and experiences to make, especially since we will be playing together on the rugby field. Ian and I haven't played on the same team at the same time since I was in 6th grade. So for us to be playing the sport we both love at the collegiate level is something that is going to be pretty special. Whether it be finding a way to score in an 8th grade football playoff game, even while blinded by the sweat dripping from his head, having his dad as a coach, or leading the rugby and football teams with zeal and grit, Ian is a beacon of what it means to be a scholar athlete. In his address to the St. Edward student body just this past month, our friend, Father Greg Boyle, reminded the graduates that St. Edward High School is not the place you've come to, it's always the place you go from. Ian, you go forth from this place to widen the circle of tenderness so that nobody is outside of it, to stand with the demonized so that the demonizing might stop, to go to the margins so that the margins might be erased. My friend, you've done much good. You have brought much hope. You have, in probably more ways than you'll ever know, made countless people, including me, know they're loved. I'm unbelievably proud to know you, and I'm confident Mr. Wallenhorst is excited and proud about this as well. Always remember, you are God's beloved son. You are made in love, for love, and by love, and ultimately that's the capital truth of our existence, and that's all that matters. My wish for you, Ian, is that you continue to smile, to seek, to dream, to bring hope, to love, and to be loved. As 1 Corinthians says, love never fails. Let the river teach you. And finally, take the words of Cleveland's own Mary Oliver to heart. Pay attention, be astonished, tell about it. Peace be with you, my friend. Thank you for everything. St. Edward Man of the Year nominee, Ian Fairfield. I'd like to introduce Mr. Brian Ansberry, Senior Class Moderator for our Scholastic Achievement Awards.
Good evening. As an alumnus of the school and a veteran teacher now for 15 years, it's my honor to present these names tonight for the Scholastic Achievement Awards. We'd ask that you please hold applause till all names have been announced. The following awards are presented to those students whose scholastic achievement places them on the honor roll for each of the first 3 quarters in the current academic year. Honors: Joshua Abdel Kareem, Braden Amos, Pierce Bialois, Jonathan Bobenchek, Michael Bova, Declan Brady, Dominic Cardarella, Alexander Castros, Nathan Serby, Brad Delphia, Ashton Dietrich, Matthew Dabrowski, Nicholas Frank, Graham Freeworth, Jose Garcia, Guy Hansen, Thomas Harrison, Harold Hinderlich, Jacob Hauser, Abdalrahman Hussein, Andrew Ianiro, Alexander Alevsky, Liam Kearns, Gavin Keller, Adam Cook, Brennan McGurr, Sam Meisinger, Brendan Mower, Charles Movius, Miles O'Malley, Christopher Oprian, Christian Ramos, Chance Robinson, Evan Rosborough, Liam Scanlon, Victor Serrano, Brady Seymour, Dayan Solomon, Hamdan Saeed, Kevin Wilker. Christian Wright. Class of 2022 honors recipients. Please give them a round of applause. High Honors Scholastic Achievement Award. Eric Abramchek. Adam Assad. Andrew Augustine. Joseph Baker. Evan Bennett. Aiden Birmingham. Emmett Blakely. Kevin Bohm. Evan Bork. William Brenninghouse. Andrew Bushak. Joseph Byrne. Theodore Cawley. Evan Christ. Mason Chunuk. Samuel Chura. Joshua Cochran. Abraham Condrich. Samuel Condrich. Isaac Kudnick. Stephen Daly. Brock Donahue. Ethan Dennis. Nicholas DeFala. Atticus Durst. Ahmad El Sharkaway. Kareem El Sharkaway. Daniel Enovich. Hunter Estes. Martin Evard. Ian Fairfield. Joseph Felix. Joseph Fenton. Sean Ferry. Brian Flannery. Owen Fox. Kyle Franz. Zion Freer Brown. Matthew Frintz. William Garreau. Luke Geog. Seamus Gibbons. Connor Goodall. Matthew Gray. Nathan Gray. Terry Green. William Grislack. Jonathan Halko. Ian Harrington. Aiden Hayes. Maxwell Holker. Thomas Hoffman. Dakota Yankee. Daniel Joyce. Giovanni Kennedy. Thomas Kirschnick. Jair Knights. Daniel Korpowski. Edward Kramer IV. Thomas Coomerly. John Cutney. Carlton Landingham. Xavier Langford Irizarry. Joseph Lavelle. Bryce Madden. Jack Mansour. Brian McDonald. Timothy McGlynn. Dylan McKeague. Ryan Miklich. Colin Miller. Jackson F. Miller. Jackson T. Miller. Adam Mocho. Matthew Molnar. Caleb Molseed. Maxwell Morsher. Hayden Mueller. Williamson Neisman. Jack Niesgoda. Daniel Allerton. Matthew Ottoman. Christian Pagan. Francis Pepe. Michael Potty. Ethan Payne. John Polito. Jeremiah Ratcliffe. Avery Reynolds. Samuel Richardson. Wyatt Richter. Jack Riley. Garrett Rotz. Tori Williams Ruffin. Charles Schaffner V. John Schultz. Dominic Sidari. Zachary Simmons. Jacob Smith. Gabriel Stala. Elliot Stasik. Daniel Swingos. Joshua Sopo. John Thompson. Evan Tippo. Frank Warren. Brendan Walters. Evan Webb. Adam Wilczewski. Matthew Wilker. Luke Winstead. Mason Whitnick. Kai Yursich. Ryan Zenkovich. Andrew Zetz. Class of 2022 High Honors Awards recipients. I would like to now introduce Dr. Carrie White, who will be doing the introduction for our second Man of the Year nomination, Mr. Adam Mocho and family.
Good evening. It is my honor tonight to introduce you to Adam Mocho, son of Tom of the class of '92, and Kelly Mocho, an older brother to Kate. The author of the letter of James in Scripture writes, "What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if you say you have faith but do not have works? Can faith save you? If a brother or sister is naked and lacks daily food, and one of you says to them, 'Go in peace, keep warm, and eat your fill,' and yet you do not supply their bodily needs, what is the good of that? So faith by itself, if it has no works, is dead. But someone will say, 'You have faith, and I have works. Show me your faith apart from your works, and I, by my works, will show you my faith.'" So tonight I want to share about some of the works of Adam Mocho, where through these works we will see his faith and learn something about our own faith. Adam works for those who don't have enough. Even before Adam had his first day of his freshman year, he went with his dad to volunteer in our LABRA program, packing meals and taking meals to homeless camps in Cleveland. He still remembers this first experience in vivid detail. It was just Adam, a rising senior, Mr. Barrett, Mr. Zetzer, and Mrs. Wagner, and he knew St. Ed's was the right place for him when this group was walking towards the camp of our first stop on our LABRA route. And this camp is a little bit back in the woods, and if you've never been there before, it can feel like you're kind of wandering and you're not entirely sure where you're going. And the senior looked at Adam and said, "Hey, you're a cross-country guy, I play soccer, so if we need to, we can run out of here and we'll be okay." And Adam knew if a senior was willing to include him, a freshman who hadn't even had his first day at St. Ed's yet, St. Ed's was the home that he was looking for. Adam became a LABRA regular, getting his entire family involved. In fact, the first time I met Adam's family, they were getting back from a LABRA experience during, I think it was that same summer, and his parents and his grandma were experiencing this service together. And now Adam's dad is one of our regular adults that takes a group out once a month. He came to LABRA through Adam. This school year, Adam has been coordinating the packing of meals during the community period, organizing student volunteers, making sure the meals are set to go out. It requires a significant amount of time, but Adam would say it doesn't usually feel like work. It's just doing what is needed to help those in need. When a man who had been homeless for many years that we developed a great friendship with during our time in LABRA, we learned that he passed away very suddenly over Christmas break. And when one of our LABRA partner ministries had a prayer service to remember those who had passed away from homelessness, and this individual was being honored as part of that prayer service, Adam with his family made sure to be there for this outdoor service on that cold December afternoon. He's the first to volunteer for our pallbearing ministry to deliver items to our partner agencies in need. And as theology teacher Mr. Williams says, Adam inspires me by his daily commitment to standing side by side with those on the margins. He seeks to widen the circle of tenderness so that nobody is outside it and brings the mission of St. Ed's to life with vigor in all that he does. Adam encourages and teaches others to be attentive to the needs of people around them, and that is a work of his faith. Adam works for those who may feel alone. Adam has always had a knack to include those who are left out, that have had trouble fitting in at school, on a team, finding common interests, and helping those students to feel included, whether it's sharing an interest in art with an elementary school classmate who is having trouble finding a place to belong, or standing up for a member of his Little League baseball team. Adam has always been able to gain the respect of whatever group he was a part of. Fellow senior Max Holker describes this as smooth, a great friend that can slide into any situation. Adam includes others and makes them feel like they belong, and that is a work of his faith. Adam works for his family. Whether it was family game or movie nights or bugging his younger sister Kate, Adam values time with his family, going on runs with his mom or running alongside his family while they're biking. Adam was not being punished, he just really enjoys running, which is a little weird to me, but here we are. Or playing mini golf and getting a hole-in-one on his very first attempt on the very first hole he'd ever played, or taking trips to the library to get all sorts of books to read. Adam works for his family, even though there was that one time he forgot to pick up Kate at St. Joe's and she had to call him like 8 times. Adam's love for his family is a work of his faith. Adam works for his teammates. As a 4-year cross-country and track runner, Adam's commitment and dedication is unmatched. From every practice, even practices he didn't need to be at, Adam supports his teammates. This is most evident probably during the track season last year, when Adam was done racing about 3 weeks before regionals and states, and yet he still ran every practice, every workout with his track teammates, because he wanted to make sure to be there to support them. Mr. Haggerty, one of his cross-country coaches, notes how Adam shows up. He says, Adam was a great runner coming out of 8th grade, but the St. Ed's cross-country program is highly competitive, and during his first year in the program, he may not have been placing as well or getting the opportunity to run in as many varsity races as he may have anticipated. Nevertheless, Adam continued to show up, to practice, to work hard, to see every day as a chance to get better. He also made sure to show up and cheer for his teammates and push them to get better. 4 years later, he is one of the senior leaders on the most successful team program in school history. Then there was the time Adam was waiting on the results of a race while he was getting lunch from Subway with his family. And when he heard the results of this race, he was so excited, he was jumping up and down with joy and excitement in the middle of this parking lot. And everybody thought there was maybe something wrong. But nothing was wrong. Adam was just so glad to hear how well his teammates did and celebrate for them. A teammate has told Adam he can't run as well unless he hears Adam cheering for him. This unconditional support is a work of Adam's faith. Adam works as a leader. His math teacher from freshman year, Mr. Rapanovich, remembers how he noticed how good Adam was at math, and he asked Adam to start a study group to help students in class who are struggling, and Adam took the ball and ran with it, all on his own. Adam is a founding member of the Student Minister Executive Team, helping to organize and run student minister meetings and creating opportunities for our community to encounter God. Adam has had the responsibility of setting up all the math supplies for all of our all-school masses, making sure everything is where we need it to be. While Adam is not usually the loudest leader in the room, he is often the most articulate and thoughtful. Classmate John Schultz says, Adam has taught me so much through servant leadership just by preparing meals weekly for Labra with him. Adam's leadership is a work of his faith. Adam works for his friends, his brothers. Whether it's by building relationships with 3 classmates he didn't know very well on their summer Kairos retreat last year, by taking a paddle boat into the lake that they were not supposed to be on, and then jumping into the lake and running back to the dorms and creating a lasting St. Ed's memory, or being so nervous while leading student sections at games because he just wants his friends and classmates to succeed so badly because he cares so much about them. Adam cherishes the relationships he's made. Junior Brian Clark describes Adam as compassionate. On their summer student minister leadership retreat, Brian describes being very intimidated, being one of only 4 sophomores surrounded by juniors. But Adam surrounded them all with kindness and made the retreat very enjoyable. Brian still talks about how nice Adam was on that retreat with his friends pretty regularly. Fellow senior Bryce Madden describes Adam as determined. He has a plan of where he's going in life. Theology Department Chair Chris Merriman describes Adam as thoughtful. Mr. Merriman remembers an encounter with Adam when Adam was a sophomore, as he learned about speaking truth to power, as we see in Scripture when the prophet Nathan confronted King David, and the responsibility we all have to speak truth to power. We see Adam speak truth to power by the witness of his actions. His cross-country and track teammate and friend Thomas Hoffman describes Adam as family. Adam's compassion and empathy reflect the values found in family. He is not only a friend, but a brother to all, and more often than not, the best guy to have around when the going gets tough. He is a leader when needed through and through. Adam has inspired us to be better versions of ourselves. Math teacher and baseball coach Jacob Solomon describes Adam as love. Loves others, loves St. Ed's, and it clearly shows every single day. Junior Rob Torres describes Adam as humble. He always puts others first, so a combination of warmth, wisdom, wit, good nature, compassion, and self-sacrifice. Passionate in the cause of service to all humanity, but especially humanity that is hurt or hurting. He would embrace the whole world if he could, with his humility, hospitality, and a heart of gold. Adam's relationships with his classmates, his friends, and teachers is a work of his faith. And I, by my works, will show you my faith. So we say thank you, Adam, for showing us your faith over these last 4 years. It is my honor to present you to have learned from Adam Mocho, 2022 candidate for Man of the Year. Thank you. And now I would like to invite Mr. Matt Wallenhorst to the podium for attendance awards.
Perfect attendance is an award of endurance. I always think of Cal Ripken or Lou Gehrig, who are two baseball players that just went into work every day some 2,000 times in a row, day in and day out. I guarantee that there were days that these students did not want to be here, and days that they did not feel up to it, yet they showed up anyway. I'm pleased to give these perfect attendance awards for the past 4 years to Daniel Joyce and Aiden Hayes. I would now like to introduce Mr. Mark Urban. Thank you.
This next batch of awards are the Special Academic Awards. Students, please come to the stage if your name is called. The Academic Challenge Award goes to Joseph Baker. Real quick plug for this student who's about to receive the Edsman Award. The Edsman newspaper is a longstanding tradition at St. Ed's. I co-moderate that with Mr. Van Wy. This particular student has been very dogged in his leadership as editor-in-chief for the last few years, even though news media is a little bit in an evolutionary state. This student was very determined and very professional, very thorough in his work and leadership. The Edsman Award goes to Sam Richardson. For the next batch of Special Academic Awards, I'd like to welcome Mr. Michael Perrins to the stage.
Yes, stay right there, Sam. The first award I want to talk about is the Model UN Award. Model UN this year had quite a difficult time, as many of us did. Would it happen? Would the conferences actually take place? Would we have to wear a mask? Do we have to show vaccination? Is it going to be in person? Is it going to be virtual? Is it going to be a bit of both? And that went on all year. We finally did put together our own conference here. We ran it in person. We had it all organized, and then the weather struck, and we had to, at 5 o'clock in the morning, change half of it to virtual. And that took a lot of doing. And one of the gentlemen who helped make that happen is Sam Richardson, standing over there. He was a Deputy Secretary General for Kleeman 22, and he was the president of the Model UN Club here at St. Ed's. And in that role, he excelled. Our pre-conference prep was the best it has ever been. Our standards were much higher. We won more awards, and he showed tremendous grit and character and student leadership in making that happen. He finally got to go on an international trip. We weren't obviously able to do that. We went to England in March this year to the Haileybury Conference, and one of the things, amongst many other activities that he really enjoyed doing there and where he really excelled, was in Westminster Abbey, which has been there for 1,000 years, and is full of the tombs of the great and the famous, all with Latin inscriptions. And as you will see a little later on this evening, Sam enjoyed telling everybody exactly what each inscription meant. The winner of the MUN Senior Gavel Award, Sam Richardson. It is also my honor and pleasure to honor and bring forward our Eagle Scout Award winners, and I'd like them to come up and stand just to the side here. Eric Branchik, Joseph Byrne, Ian Harrington, Max Holker, Caleb Molseed, John Thompson, and Adam Wojciechowski. Now, if you are a scout, you will know that once a scout, you are always a scout, no matter where you ended up doing your scouting. It was started actually in South Africa by Robert Stevenson Smith Baden-Powell, part of a war effort, and he had these boys who were able to do things that nobody believed they were capable of doing, and that scouting movement has spread around the world, and it is represented by these fine young gentlemen here who managed to get to the ultimate prize of becoming an Eagle Scout, which is a pretty difficult thing to do. In England, they call it the Queen Scout. In South Africa, it's a Springbok Scout. Various countries have iterations of it. It's an outstanding achievement, and of course, they're all double Eagles as well as Eagles, the Eagle Scouts of St. Ed's. Congratulations. I now call on Ms. Erin Schilf to present the Science Olympiad Award winners.
Clever, logical, adaptive. These are all qualities of the students on our Science Olympiad team and necessary for future engineers and scientists. I'd like to recognize the award winners on this year's Science Olympiad team. I want to welcome to the stage Joey Baker, Matt Gray, Sam Richardson, and Adam Wojciechowski. Sam Richardson is getting our first MVP award. Sam medaled in 2 events, Green Generation and Anatomy and Physiology. Sam is diligent and detailed. Sam can crush any biology or chemistry category, which will come in handy later when he's a doctor. Adam Wojciechowski is getting our second MVP award. Adam medaled in detector building and excels in the electrical and computer programming categories. Adam's projects looked like an ingenious mess. You could tell Adam was working when there was a giant pile of wires, sensors, and solutions left at a lab station. Captain Matt Gray is getting the Leadership Award. Matt medaled at States in Green Generation. He's passionate and organized, and he's a beast in chemistry and all lab events. Matt and Sam are some of the most meticulous students I've ever seen. Their 2 brains together equal about 5 brains. Captain Joey Baker is receiving the Program Impact Award. He is the only senior who has been on the team the past 4 years, and he has helped the team qualify for states every single year. He is self-motivated and an expert in the environmental and earth science categories. These seniors were the leaders of a team that finished 7th at the state competition, which is our highest placement in the history of the program. We are so proud of you. Congratulations. I would like to bring Mr. Mark Urban back up to the stage.
I pass the mic to Peter Niddle.
Hey, bro. There we go. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we'd like to hail the 3rd St. Edward's student of all time and Northeast Ohio's 5th ever to obtain 4 straight perfect scores on the National Latin exam. In the exam's 43-year history, there are 3 area schools that can claim the honor of having produced a 4-time perfect scorer. In 2002, when St. Ed's Eddie Medrick earned his, we shared the limelight with the school across from Wendy's. In 2014, when Connor Tomshack earned his, we shared it with Shaker Heights. But this time, of the 9 4-year perfect scorers in the world, St. Edward's own is the only one from all of Ohio. Congratulations to Sam Richardson.
I'd like to invite Matthew Molnar and his family up to the stage area. Good evening, Eagle High. It is my honor to introduce our 3rd Man of the Year nominee of the class of 2022, Mr. Matthew Vincent Molnar. Son to Trudy and Vince Molnar, younger brother to Bridget, the pride of St. Raphael's, and most importantly, dog dad to his chocolate lab, Adrian. Yes, named after Rocky Balboa's beloved bride. He is a meathead after all, folks. Don't let the GPA and the academic credentials fool you. Matthew will be attending Valparaiso University to play football and major in finance with a possible biology minor. But as we tend to hear during Man of the Year nomination introductions, Matt is another Eagle that could adapt to any situation and accomplish anything he wants, regardless of the conditions or expectations. As most of you know, Matt is the king of rapport. A dazzling smile, clear, bright eyes, fastidiously focused with genuine eye contact and earnestness, a humble garishness that is infectious, a zealous involvement that always stays tethered to his role as a school leader. A gentle giant with the tenacity and conviction of a lion. An eagle. Trudy and Vince wanted to raise their children at their level, Rather than chiding too much, they hope to teach with cerebralness and an expectation of maturity. As a result, Matt's demeanor growing up was one of comfort conversing with adults and getting along with, well, just about everyone. Trudy crowned Matt the mayor of St. Raphael's due to his engagement, self-awareness, and willingness to rub elbows with everyone at his parish. Vince remarked on Matt's regal air, noting that once, while out to dinner with a 5-year-old Matthew, Matt remarked to the waitress who had offered milk as a drink option, quote, "No thank you, I'm lactose intolerant," unquote, not necessarily knowing at all what that meant. Trudy noted that Matt is an old soul who's never met a stranger and that he lives as if it's not his first go-round. Additionally, one of Matt's jobs outside of school is as a lifeguard. So, he's literally prepared and willing to protect people's lives and offer emergency assistance on the ready. And Matt's typical cool aplomb and readiness to jump in the mix on just about anything make him an ideal candidate for the nuance of that responsibility. These are all noteworthy characteristics of an eagle who has led so selflessly in so many ways, for so many, for seemingly so long now. Matt's choice to be an eagle was a calling. During the 8th grade application and shadowing process, and despite almost all of his friends and classmates choosing to attend a certain other school, Matt definitively came home after his Edsman for a Day experience and stated with calm conviction, quote, "I'm going to St. Ed's. It feels right. That's where I want to be." Precious and prescient words from a then 13-year-old. What courage, what agency. And we are blessed as a community that Matt chose us and also chose to lead us. A truncated list of Matt's accolades include 3-year elected council officer, state football champion, St. Edward ambassador, Kairos student leader, National Honor Society council, Spanish National Honor Society, co-chair of student ministers, and high honors for all 4 years. And this year he even dabbled in lacrosse for good measure. Matt's good-natured embodiment of our Holy Cross mission is evident in all of his community relationships and many accomplishments. But it was sometimes Matt's genteelness that occasionally frustrated his father, Vince, when he coached a younger Matthew in football. Vince wanted Matt to be more aggressive, though Matt had concerns about being too intimidating and physically domineering. After Vince once challenged him to be more aggressive on the football field, Matt retorted, quote, "I just don't want to ruin anyone's day over it." Inherently, Division I high school state championship and NCAA football demand that athletes regularly ruin anyone's day. Yet our community has witnessed that ruining people's days is not really in Matt's repertoire. Matt and I may have been destined for this moment on stage tonight. Early in the class of 2022's freshman year, my son Luke unexpectedly needed to spend the day on campus during a school day. As the St. Edward Dean of Students at the time, I was somewhat trepidatious at having a very impressionable 10-year-old potential future Eagle in the dean's office for too long. So I sent Luke to Ms. Denstedt's public speaking class for first period. At the bell, I met Luke outside of Miss D's room, and with a look of consternation on my face, I stared in the void, deciding what to do next with him. A voice called out from the between classes throng, "Mr. Urban, how can I be of help?" It was Matthew, with his regular and authentic Holy Cross hospitality, as a first semester freshman, offering to assist in any way possible. I told Matt I was looking for a class for Luke to attend during the next period. "I've got you, Mr. Urban." I did not know Matthew very well at the time, but something struck me about his undaunted kindness and assuredness, and off they went. They dissected a perch together in Mr. Barnwell's class. And my son learned, and my son was in exceptional care. I was as sure of the caliber of young man that Matthew was then as I am now. 'Matthew 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 was then as I am now. Yes, Matthew is a lifeguard, isn't he? Matt once shared with his parents a time when his charisma, coupled with his physical stature, may have been unintentionally intimidating to a classmate. Matt made it his duty to, quote, correct the impression so his peer would feel more comfortable in his presence. My hope for Matt is that he never has to correct his impression. He is an exemplar to me of the power of living with authentic, contagious zeal. You, Matthew, are golden. Ladies and gentlemen, St. Edward Class of 2022 Man of the Year nominee, Matthew Molnar. I now welcome to the stage English Department Chair, Mr. Andy Allen, to present the English Department Students of the Year.
Good evening. Tonight it's my great pleasure to present the awards for English Students of the Year. Will Francis Pape, Sam Richardson, and Andrew Bushok please come to the stage? English 4 Student of the Year, Francis Pape. IB Literature Student of the Year, Sam Richardson. And College Credit Plus College Composition and Introduction to Fiction Student of the Year, Andrew Bushok. Congratulations. And now I'd like to welcome to the podium Chair of the Language Acquisition Department, Ms. Lisa Harden.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to present the awards for Language Acquisition Students of the Year. Will the following students please come forward? Max Morsher, Sam Richardson, Evan Webb, Aiden Hayes, and Emmett Blakely. Winning the IB French SL Year 2 Award, Max Morsher. For IB Latin SL Year 2 Award, no surprise, Sam Richardson. Honors Latin 4 this year goes to Evan Webb. Spanish 4 this year goes to Emmett Blakely. And taking home both the Sociedad Honoraria Hispánica Premio de Honor and the IB Spanish SL Year 2 Award is Aiden Hayes. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce the chair of the film department, Ms. Lydia Munnell.
There's only one award to give for film tonight. It's for IB Film Year 2. For their contributions to the film department across all 4 years and the ways they exemplify the listening and the empathy that make great storytellers, the IB Film Department Production Award goes to both Adam Mocho and Isaac Kudnick. Now I'm happy to introduce Mrs. Suzanne Fairfield, Chair of the History Department.
Good evening. It is my honor to present the awards for the Social Studies Department this year, and I would like the following students to please come forth to the front of the stage. Ian Harrington, Tom Coomerly, Aiden Hayes, Evan Bork, Joseph Lavelle, Hayden Mueller, and Holden Hall. This year's IB 20th Century World History HL Students of the Year are Ian Harrington and Tom Coomerly. IB 20th Century World History SL Student of the Year is Aiden Hayes. AP US Government Student of the Year is Evan Bork. American Government Student of the Year is Joseph Lavelle. And our two Law Students of the Year are Hayden Mueller and Holden Hall. Congratulations, gentlemen. And it is my pleasure at this time to introduce the head of our business department, business and entrepreneurship department, Mr. Bob Shanoski.
It is my pleasure to introduce the Economics and Business Students of the Year. Please come forward when your name is called. Atticus Durst, Sam Richardson, Jonathan Halko, and Chad Schaffner. The Economics Student of the Year, Atticus Durst. AP Economics Student of the Year, Sam Richardson. IB Business SL Student of the Year, Jonathan Helko. And finally, IB Business HL Student of the Year, Chad Schaffner. It is my pleasure to introduce the Chair of the Engineering and Technology Department, Mr. J.C. Freilich.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to present the awards for the Engineering and Technology Students of the Year. Will Thomas Hoffman, Ethan Dennis, and Jonathan Halko please come to the front? For the Senior IB Design Technology HL Year 2, Thomas Hoffman. For the Senior IB Design Technology SL, Ethan Dennis. And for the AP Computer Science Principals, Jonathan Halko. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce the Chair of the Science Department, Mrs. Anne-Marie Lavelle.
It is my honor to introduce the Science Students of the Year. Will the following students please come forward? Evan Christ, Ian Harrington, Matthew Gray, Aiden Hayes, Jeremiah Radcliffe, Jackson T. Miller, Elliot Stasik, Kareem El Sharkaway, and Hunter Estes. The Environmental Science Student of the Year is Evan Christ. The IB Biology SL Student of the Year, Ian Harrington. The IB Chemistry HL Year 2 Student of the Year, Matthew Gray. The IB Physics HL Year 2 Student of the Year, Aiden Hayes. The two Students of the Year for IB Physics SL Year 2, Jeremiah Radcliffe and Jackson T. Miller. The AP Physics C, Electricity and Magnetism, Student of the Year, Elliot Stasek. Anatomy and Physiology Student of the Year, Kareem El-Sharkoueh. And the Sports Medicine Student of the Year, Hunter Estes. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Dan Corcoran, Chair of the Mathematics Department.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to present the Mathematics Awards for Students of the Year. Will Mason Whitnick, Evan Bork, Bryce Madden, Matthew Callahan, Aiden Hayes, Zach Simmons, and Frank Warren please come forward? The Honors Pre-Calculus Student of the Year, Mason Whitnick. The AP Calculus AB Student of the Year, Evan Bork. The Pre-Calculus Student of the Year, Bryce Madden. The Trig and Topics Student of the Year, Matthew Callahan. The IB Mathematics HL Year 2 Student of the Year, Aiden Hayes. The IB Mathematics SL Student of the Year, Zach Simmons. And the AP Statistics Student of the Year, Frank Warren. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce the chairs of the Art Department, Ms. Molly King and Mr. Sean Kinley.
It is my pleasure to present the awards for Art Student of the Year, where Miles O'Malley, Sam Chura, Emmett Blakely, and Charlie Holmes come to the front. Miles O'Malley is Sculpture Student of the Year. Sam Chura is Ceramic Student of the Year. And Emmett Blakely is Pottery Student of the Year.
Miles O'Malley is Painting Student of the Year. And Charlie Holmes is Advanced Sports Art Student of the Year. We want to remind all students and parents to parents could have your students take their artwork from the lobby before they leave or they'll be put in the music request box in my room, possibly if you leave it over the summer. So we're not going to keep those. And it is my pleasure to introduce the chair of the theology department, Chris Meerman.
It's my pleasure to present the awards for the Theology Students of the Year, and I would ask that Bryce Madden and Ryan Miklich come up. We normally only give one award for the student who not only has, good grades or something like that, but actually has a heart for the subject, a love for God, and a desire to, discuss and to inquire about theological matters. Mr. Williams and I were discussing it, and he said that we have to have two, because these are two of the best students in this subject that I've taught. So it's my honor to recognize Bryce Madden and Ryan Miklich for the Theology Students of the Year. If I could have Ms. White come to the stage, I'd like to hear from the Campus Ministry Department.
Two seniors to recognize for outstanding work in service, and these two seniors in particular have taken a leadership role, bringing innovative approaches to how we will document service going forward and getting others involved in service. So I'd like to recognize Adam Mocho and Evan Tippo. And we have three seniors who have gone above and beyond in helping our community pray, especially at all school liturgies, and leading prayer in a variety of ways and formats. And so I'd like to say congratulations to Thomas Hoffman, Ian Fairfield, and Max Morsher. Now I'd like to invite Mr. Stepnowski back to the podium for our next Man of the Year introduction.
Can I invite Jeremiah Ratcliffe and his family to stand by the stage? My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him. A passage from the book of James, and it was shared with me as Jeremiah's father was sharing reflections about his son. And I thought it was interesting. This wasn't the title of the email. It was a title inside the email. So picture the body of the email having a title, and the title was Caps Locks Bold Joy. And, it's kind of, I've stopped saying serendipity in my life, and I've been saying divine providence a lot more, because you hear joy throughout the night tonight. Casey was talking about joy earlier and how much joy this class brings. I think about patience, humility, calm, authenticity, determination, character, trust, respect, self-sacrifice, family, and accountability. I think of Jeremiah. It's pretty traditional, as you've seen so far tonight, for people to ask family, teachers, friends, if they have any reflections that they want to share about a Man of the Year candidate. And what I was struck by this year is when you think about Jeremiah and all the different things that he does at St. Ed's, sports, leadership, the IB diploma program, everybody was on the same line, and I've never seen that before. And it was all in line with what I had kind of been thinking about in terms of how I wanted to represent Jeremiah tonight. And I bring this up because if you think about the world that we live in, it's a fractured world, it's a dissonant world, it's meta, we're talking about the metaverse lately. And I think the more we see this kind of fakeness in the world, the more we seek out authenticity. And every reflection that I was getting spoke to Jeremiah's realness, his authenticity. I think for so many people to know someone in so many unique experiences and to value this authenticity kind of explains why his peers wanted Jeremiah on the stage tonight. I really personally value Jeremiah's authenticity, and I know I've been changed because of it. When I asked Lydia Munnell to share some thoughts on Jerry, she said, Jerry has an incredibly grown-up sense of relationships. He has an easy way with both his peers and with adults that immediately communicates respect and demands respect too. He's established himself as a leader because he does a lot, takes care of business, and because he is so balanced and such a gifted communicator. He's brilliant and talented, but he's exceptional because he already knows the thing it takes some people a lifetime to learn. The only thing that matters is how you treat people. As I mentioned, when I reached out to Jeremiah's mom and dad, the first thing I had noticed was his father titling his email Joy in caps locks, bolded. And I thought to myself in the moment, I'm not sure my parents would have described my teenage years as joy. And as I watched my oldest daughter, who probably isn't watching this, gracefully transition into her teenage years, I'm not sure that joy is the first word that would come to mind for me. I just remember sitting there, seeing this email, and just stopping for a beat and thinking how beautiful of a word choice that is. And how, in thinking about my own kids, Jeremiah's dad did what he's done for me before, and what Jerry's done for me before. He inspired me. I was joking around with his father earlier this evening. I remember the first night Jeremiah was a sophomore coming to sign up for the IB diploma program, and his dad was just grilling me. Like, very polite, big smile on his face, but every answer to every question I had, he had 2 more questions. And I just remember, A, this dude is definitely doing the diploma program, and B, how much this guy loves his son. Jeremiah and I had lunch earlier in the year that we were both reflecting on earlier in the week. And I had Jerry in theory of knowledge, and he just didn't see himself in the early weeks of the year, and I just wanted to know if he needed anything, if anything was going on. And, what we really wound up talking about is the discomfort that can come around when pressure increases. Jeremiah was on a lot of St. Ed's posters throughout the year, and the game changes when you feel a level of responsibility, when you feel eyes on you. As a man who always tries to show up for others first, I think he was feeling pressure to behave in a certain way or be a certain person because of the sheer visibility that was going on. But like he always does, he talked through what he was feeling at the time, he prayed on it, he stayed true to who he is, and now he's here in front of all of us because his peers see him as a shining example of what it means to be an eagle. And as we all know, an eagle is what everyone should be. Jeremiah's initial feelings about his newly felt responsibility in the fall kind of fit in with a story that his father was telling me about a wrestling trip that the two of them went on his freshman year. Jeremiah didn't really have any experience in the sport, and his dad recalls his son stepping into the gym and getting that deer in the headlights look. He was facing seniors in high school who had been wrestling since they were 5 years old. They were more skilled, more experienced, and had more knowledge about the sport. And his dad said, I used very polite words, maybe not, to tell him that those facts don't matter. One thing that cannot be taught is heart. It's an inside quality controlled only by the user. He said Jeremiah still had this glare in his eyes and he wasn't sure if he was listening. I think we all know tonight that he was listening. His friend Ian, who's also a Man of the Year candidate, used Jeremiah as the subject of an arts project in one of our new visual arts classes. And these two really just striking pictures of Jeremiah, one with a smile on his face and one with a scowl on his face. And in the negative space, you could shine a light over the space, and there'd be these pictures and then reflections from Jeremiah. And Ian was kind enough to give me those pictures, and I've kind of been thinking about them over the last couple of days and looking at what Jeremiah had to say to his friend and to our community. And he said, I try my best to be welcoming. People don't benefit from negative versions of me. Anytime I think it would be beneficial for others, for me to turn on a smile, I turn it on. It's as simple as that. If I can help others with their difficult emotions, regardless of how I'm feeling, I show up. As his mom reflected, Jeremiah has always been a smart kid, full of wisdom and compassion, always willing to help, be it helping the teacher or other students in class. So when Jeremiah told me he wanted to become a psychiatrist and work with underserved populations, it didn't surprise me. Tom Becks, one of Jeremiah's football coaches, said, the thing that I most admire about Jerry is his competitive drive. Within our standards, we refer to it as grit. However, Jerry's grit is unique. It is other and or team-centered. I think that's why he was elected as captain of our football team. His teammates saw an authentic person who'd do whatever it took to help his team win. He was our emotional leader and most vocal captain. He had some pretty clutch interceptions, too. His teammates followed his lead. Early in the year, we were considering putting Jerry at defensive lineman after playing 3 years at linebacker. Jerry's response was, I'll do whatever you want me to do. Selfless and a servant leader. As his mother told me, a quote that's written on his board amongst his 2022 goals is, your direction in life is more important than the speed. There are a lot of people going nowhere fast. I'd like to close with something his dad said last week that I think encapsulates all that Jeremiah has accomplished. When we look at our environments in life and everything is seemingly stacked against us, God has provided internal strength to fuel our drive as we overcome obstacles of skin color, obstacles of economics, and obstacles deriving from our faith. God has supplied us with joy to endure the obstacles we face. Joy is the most valuable of all emotions. It's not dependent on anything. Joy is an internal emotion controlled by the user and given to us by God. Amen. I love you, Jeremiah, and I'm so proud to speak on your behalf tonight.
Good evening. My name is Dan Mackin, and I work in our Office of Admission. And I have the honor tonight to present the St. Brother Andre Brissett CSC Award. This is a recognition of hospitality, one of the 4 pillars at St. Edward High School. Typically, we present this to 1 senior, but for this year we have 2 seniors. I'd like to announce them and have them come forward and then just speak briefly about the ways in which they extended that welcoming presence for all of our visitors. Those 2 seniors are Matt Molnar and Ian Fairfield. For those who have been around St. Ed's, you know that Matt and Ian are largely inseparable, but certainly for our office, the 2 of them served in countless ways in the Office of Admission. Many times you are the welcoming place, the first place where folks, prospective families, will interact with our community. And I just wanted to speak briefly about Brother Andre Bassett, the person. Excuse me. Brother Andre Bassett was the first saint in the Congregation of Holy Cross who worked primarily as a porter. And in the religious capacity, the definition of a porter, I think, defines both of these two men so well. A porter is a role for which one is identified as the representative of the community to the outside world. And so for both Matt and Ian, whether it was working our Get the Edge program as counselors or as lead counselor last year for Ian, through our Edsman for a Day program and hosting students at the drop of a hat, they were the first two that we would seek out last year, in particular during the challenges of COVID-19. And then lastly, with numerous tours during our open houses, Matt and Ian were always present, always hospitable, and always kind to our visitors and our prospective families. So again, I'd like to recognize each of Matt Molnar and Ian Fairfield, recipients of the St. Brother Andre Bassett CSC Award. And next to the podium, I'd like to introduce Performing Arts Department Chair, Mr. Angelo Cortica.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to give the awards for the Performing Arts Department here at St. Edward. If I could call Andrew Bushak, Max Morscher, Owen Fox, Adam Wolszewski, Zach Simmons, and Eric Olson to the front, please. First award tonight is the Director's Award. We present the Director's Award to graduating seniors who have shown exceptional commitment to all our programs across multiple aspects of the performing arts, including 3 or more of our major ensembles. This year, our Director's Award goes to Owen Fox and Adam Wolszewski. Next up, we have the Patrick S. Gilmore Band Award. The Patrick S. Gilmore Band Award is awarded in honor of the legendary bandmaster and impresario Patrick Gilmore, who was John Philip Sousa's right-hand man. This award honors outstanding high school band students and their achievements and commitment to the band program. That award goes to Zach Simmons. Next is the Louis Armstrong Jazz Award. This award was inaugurated in 1974 with the consent of Louis Armstrong's widow shortly after he passed. It's presented to students who have demonstrated superior ability in the jazz idiom. This year's Louis Armstrong Jazz Award winner is Andrew Bushak. Next, we have the National School Orchestra Award. This is the highest honor that can be bestowed upon students in high school orchestra to recognize excellence in playing and contributions to the orchestra as an ensemble. This year's National School Orchestra Award winner is Eric Olson. Next, we have the National School Choral Award. This is the highest award for students who have performed in their school chorus. It recognizes the dedication and musical achievement of the top male and female choral students in choruses across the nation. This year, the award goes to Max Morscher. And lastly, the John Philip Sousa Award. This is the highest award that a high school band student can earn from their school. Introduced in 1955 to honor the top student in each band program across the country, this award recognizes superior musicianship and outstanding dedication to the program. It was created with the approval of his wife and his daughters, of the famous composer and bandmaster John Philip Sousa. That award goes to Max Morscher as well. And it's now my pleasure to invite Mr. Tom Becks to come to the front so he can introduce the next Man of the Year candidate.
Will Torrey Williams and his mom, Teresa Ruffin, and his great-grandfather, Clarence Ruffin, please come up. It's my honor and privilege to introduce to you Tori Williams Ruffin as a Man of the Year nominee. I'm hoping to give you a glimpse of who Tori is by focusing my thoughts on how Tori has instantiated the 4 pillars of our school of excellence, faith, servant leadership, and relationships as seen through the eyes of his teachers and his friends. Excellence. I've known Tori for a little over 2 years now. I taught him for a semester, and I've coached him now for the past 2 years on the football team. However, I met Tori for the first time at the beginning of the pandemic in March of 2020. School was closing, our weight room was closing, the gyms were closing. I had extra weights at my home, and I told Coach Augie, our strength and conditioning coach. He directed Tori to me. We met in the St. Ed's back parking lot for the exchange. I remember thinking to myself, here is someone who's not going to let anything deter him from his goals. We see this same effort in the classroom. Tori has a ridiculously high 4.68 GPA. Tori will be attending Harvard next year in the fall. I kept telling Tori I had a 4.8. I had 1.2 my first year, 1.2 my second. You can do the math. Here are some thoughts from his teachers. Mr. Stepnowski, Tori has made such an impact on me, and still does, because for someone so incredibly talented, he is so incredibly humble. Mrs. Fairfield, Tori has an innate ability to quietly and humbly lead his peers, often through his unspoken words and actions, and when he does choose to speak, it is thoughtful and profound. What is most admirable about Tori is that he is not boastful about his accomplishments, even as plentiful as they may be. He, on the other hand, is extremely and extraordinarily humble. Mr. Chinowski, Tori has the highest grade in any of my IB sections. He leads by example in my class. While he tends to be on the quiet side, he has become more outgoing this year. Ever humble, he is always ready with an answer to any question in class. Mr. Williams, his senior theology teacher, wrote, Tori's excellence transcends any confines of traditional definition of what it means to be excellent. He is a gentle, empathetic, and thoughtful presence in any room, and has a unique ability to bring hope to all he meets. Can you believe it? He's even excellent at being humble. Faith. Over the last 2 years, I've watched Tori and many of his fellow teammates and closest friends attend our Fellowship of Christian Athletes weekly meetings at 7 a.m. Tori has a deep faith in God, and I think that he knows he has truly been blessed. I just recently found out that that faith has been passed down through generations. Tori's great-great-grandfather and his great-grandfather are both ministers. Wisdom is one of the gifts of the Holy Spirit, and Miss White, our campus minister, said of Tori that he may be the wisest student she has ever come across. Mr. Merriman, senior theology teacher, wrote, Tori is a great example of the pillar of faith. He is an excellent student, but more than that, he shows in conversation, in ministry leadership, and in writing that he has a living Christian faith that he values and tries to live out. Servant leadership. My best memory of this year's football team did not take place on the field. It came after practice when Coach Lombardo called the team together and read an email from the coach at Canada North. The game was at Bay High School, if you can remember. There was lightning, it was wet, it was cold, it was delayed. It seemed to last for hours. By the end of the game, everyone wanted to leave as soon as possible. The lockers were at least a quarter of a mile from the field. It seems that one of their players hurt his knee and needed assistance to get from the locker room to the bus after the game. Their coach was writing to thank and let Coach Lombardo know that number 10, assisted his player to the bus. That number 10 was Tori. None of us would have ever known had the coach not sent the email. Mr. Rentz expressed well what I just described. Tori is the living and breathing definition of student leadership. His calming presence and awareness enables him to serve others in a way that is attentive to their needs. He is a young man with a selfless and faithful nature and with a deep care for others. He recognizes the importance of relationships and goes about his life with this commitment front and center. Some perspective from Tori's closest friends. Christian Ramos. Tori is someone you know who is going to be there for you no matter the day and the time. He's going to lift you up, to help you excel, to succeed, to be a better person. Such an unselfish person, and someone you definitely want to be around. I love my brother. Zion Freer Brown. I remember meeting Tori freshman year and being in health class with him and starting our friendship there. 3 years later, he is one of my closest friends. Tori is a person I can always count on and is literally the smartest kid I know. He's my brother, and I love him to death. Jerry Ratcliffe. Jerry, who is also up for this award. Jerry said, he's a bum. Jerry, why would you say that? Jerry, you're so competitive. Just kidding. This is what Jerry actually said. If I could think of anything to describe Tori, it would focus around servant leadership and excellence. Throughout, he has always been a person willing to serve, whether it be sacrificing for the betterment of the team or just to help a classmate. Also excellence. No matter what, he is so determined, and he just does what he's committed to. He is always determined to be great. This past weekend was Mother's Day, so I'm going to let Tori's mom have the last word about her son. Mom wrote, "There are so many things I can say about Tori, but what I think stands out most and what shaped him into the man he is today is his determination for excellence and his commitment to building genuine relationships. When I chose Tori's name, I selected a name that would speak to who he is and who he would be. I believe that words have power. I decided on Tori because Tori meant turtle dove, which is a symbol of peace. Tori has always lived up to the meaning of his name. He was such a sweet, loving little boy who loved football, animals, and food. But mostly, he loved me and his great-grandfather. Tori's relationship with my grandfather is so amazing. It's such a blessing for him to have his great-grandfather in his life. My grandfather is 85 years old, and he took Tori on as his own son because Tori's father was not around. My grandfather was born and raised in Listman, Alabama. He was one of 11 children and never made it past the 8th grade. Despite the odds against him, he worked hard and made a good life for his family. He was the son of a minister and became a minister as well. He has a strong relationship with God and made sure he taught Tori the importance of also having his own relationship with God. Because of the teachings my grandfather instilled in Tori, he carries on his legacy of being faithful, hardworking, and determined for excellence, despite whatever odds he may be against. Because of Tori's relationship with my grandfather and his desire to carry on that legacy, he decided to change his last name to Ruffin to honor him. I'm not sure if Tori has told many people why he recently changed his name, but I think it speaks to his character and the pillars of St. Ed's. I give you Man of the Year nominee, Tori Williams Ruffin. To introduce the Jamie McManaman Golden Eagle Award, alumnus Pat Kennedy.
Good evening. The Jamie McManaman Golden Eagle Award is sponsored by the Athletic Boosters and is awarded to one senior each year. The head coach of each varsity sport is invited to nominate one candidate based on their accomplishments and excellence in the areas of academics, citizenship, leadership, Christian values, athletic participation, and extracurriculars. The winner of the award is determined by a vote of the boosters at their May meeting. Jamie McManaman, class of 2003, embodied the spirit of the Golden Eagle Award when was a recipient of the award in 2003. He tragically died on May 13, 2004. This award honors his memory. The recipient of the 2022 Jamie McManaman Golden Eagle Award is senior Ian Fairfield. And if I could welcome Casey McKenna back up to the stage.
So these are our final two purely academic awards of the evening. The first two students I'd like to recognize were scorers in the top 1.5% on the National Merit Scholarship qualifying tests that they took in the fall of their junior year. And those students are Charlie Movius and Adam Wolszewski. So if Adam, Charlie and Adam, I think. And the last student I'll bring up for the evening, who has probably gotten 10,000 steps at least tonight, is Sam Richardson. Sam, if you can come forward. So we have two more recognitions for Sam. One is a recognition for being a National Merit finalist, so scoring in the top 0.5% on the National Merit Scholarship qualifying test. And the second is the award that we present to the one student in the graduating class who has demonstrated the highest level of academic achievement. And I think it's clear by the number of times that Sam has been up there here this evening that Sam's academic career at St. Ed's has been exceptional. And so I'm proud to announce that Sam Richardson is the St. Ed's class of 2022 Phi Beta Kappa winner. Congratulations, Sam. Matt Wallenhorst will present our final Student Life Awards.
Developing students, not just in the classroom, but throughout all their endeavors, is something that we strive to do here at St. Ed's. I even think of it more as an experience than just an education. Bonds are created authentically, and they cannot be faked. They need to happen genuinely. Student life happens at any high school, but it is only through student leadership that Edsman can foster an environment that allows the rest to flourish. Sacrificing time, energy, and effort so that their fellow classmates can have social events, come together to support one another on the athletic field, or to applaud them on stage. Student leaders work for others and for the good of the whole school. For the past 4 years, Danny Allerton has shown outstanding leadership and a commitment to a vibrant student life, and I am pleased to present the Student Life and Leadership Award to him. Congratulations, Danny. And lastly, we have a ceremonial passing of the gavel. So I would like to welcome up to the podium Colin Ashdown, Seamus McGinty, Jackson Stimple, and Matt Sweeney, who are next year's class officers. And Danny will present them our ceremonial passing of the gavel. It's their show next year. Finally, I would like to welcome St. Edward President Jim Kabaki to present our final award.
Good evening. I want to congratulate all award winners tonight. Give yourselves a good round of applause. As has been said, the Man of the Year is the highest honor the school can bestow on a student. There's no greater honor than to be nominated by your peers. I want to congratulate our 5 nominees: Ian Fairfield, Adam Mocho, Matt Molnar, Jeremiah Radcliffe, and Tori Williams-Ruffin. Each of these nominees is talented and engaged. They represent the best qualities of the class of 2022 as a whole. We are blessed at St. Edward to have so many students of excellent character and unlimited potential. As we have heard tonight, our 5 candidates for the 2022 Man of the Year are the finest examples of men committed to our 4 pillars: faith, excellence, relationships, and servant leadership. I congratulate each of you for your willingness to selflessly share your gifts with the St. Edward community. You have been a gift to us, just as you will be a gift to the world. If I could have our 5 guys stand up front. All right, you guys done? All right, the votes are in. All that's left is the suspense. Without further delay, it is a privilege and a joy for me to present to you the 2022 St. Edward Man of the Year, Tori Williams-Ruffin.
Wow. This is crazy. I want to start off by giving thanks to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because without him, none of this would be possible. As a freshman, I would have never expected that I would even be considered as a nominee for Man of the Year. And for me to be standing before you as the class of 2022 Man of the Year is absolutely amazing, and nothing but the work of God himself. Having the ability to attend St. Ed's for these past 4 years has been truly a blessing, and I wouldn't trade my experience for anything else in the world. Being here has allowed me to grow so much, not just as a student or an athlete, but it has allowed me to grow into a decent and empathetic human being. My time here has given me the ability to have some of the best experiences in my life and meet some amazing people that I never would have met without joining this amazing community. I first want to thank my mom and my great-grandfather for the sacrifices that they've made for me throughout my entire life so that I could be in the position that I'm in today. I owe everything to you both, and I'll never be able to repay you for what you've done for me, but I definitely won't stop trying. I'd also like to thank the rest of my family for their continuous love and support in every single thing that I do. I want to thank my beautiful girlfriend, Diamond, for being there for me and making me happy even in the hardest times. Thank you to all of the faculty and staff here at St. Ed's for all the work that you put in every single day to make sure that every single student has a positive and rewarding experience. I haven't had the opportunity to meet all of you or talk to all of you, but the ones that I have interacted with have truly changed my life for the better, and I'm forever grateful for each and every single one of you, no matter who you are. And finally, the class of 2022, my classmates, my teammates, my friends, my brothers. Shout out to my guys, Christian, Z, and Jerry, and shout out to the BNC. You all are what has truly made my time here at St. Ed's as special as it was. I never would have expected that a shy, quiet kid like myself would have been able to make so many meaningful relationships with a group of guys from so many different places, with so many different talents and interests. Being with all of you amazing people has inspired me to be a better version of myself, and I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of you for what you've done for me and this school. I love every single one of you, and if you guys ever needed anything, I'm only a call away, I promise. I look forward to the last few weeks that we have together, but I promise that our bond will last forever. Thank you all for everything. This is truly an amazing honor, and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all, and good night.
Congratulations, Tori. And congratulations to all of you on really an exceptional 4 years. It's been a pleasure. And I think tonight has just been a reflection of all of the things that you've accomplished. I also really quickly want to recognize Jim Kubacki, who this will be his 17th and last awards night as St. Ed's president. And so, with each event, Jim kind of ticks off his last, and this is a big one. And so thank you, Jim, for your leadership. And as we conclude the night, we will do so. I think maybe one of the greatest joys or maybe fears of being a Man of the Year nominee is you now get to lead your classmates in the singing of the alma mater to close the night. So if everybody would like to stand, and our 5 Man of the Year nominees will lead us in the alma mater. And again, thanks, and we hope you have a wonderful evening. Gentlemen, come on up.
All right, 3, 2, 1.